is not write down as per the instructions, and no one can put your information in directly chat box. Darshan, Deep, Drumil, Harmish, Soni, rename yourself and write down first a roll number and then after your name. So let's finally again welcome to all students. We start a computer subject, and in this workshop subject, well, you have three sessions, one for computer part, two practicals. Then after you move into the electricals where you have to perform few electrical related practicals, and at the last you have to move into the mechanical part. So let's we start and our first practical where we start making a simple PHP website using a HTML tag. Now in workshop subject, as per the computer department, we have two practical, one for the basic use of the web development where we make a simple PHP website, and second practical that is for the specific where we have to go for basic introductions regarding the different OS. So these are the two practicals that we go through. There is a query, sir, do we need to use a laptop right now? No, not requirement of specific laptop. We have a simulator that also you can use for your laptop. It's not a specific requirement of the laptop for the lab session. If you have, you can use it, but it's not compulsory things. So let's we quickly go through the last lecture overview, and then we move to our current HTML tag. So we already go through the full form of HTML. So that is known as a hypertext markup language. So it's a simple tag where we can make a simple and interactive website where you can add your text, graphics. It means images, then videos, sound, that all things using the HTML tag where you can easily add. Next, we have one term that we called a tag. Tag that we represent into the starting bracket and closing bracket, and in between we write down the specific keyword. Like if you represent as a bold, so that we write down B. Then if you represent as a italic, underscore, then HTML, title, head. So that all are we consider as a basic tag in between starting bracket and closing bracket we write down. And also we aware about a closing tag. So at that time we use a forward slash for the closing of the tag, but it's not a necessary requirement. Like we have a few tag where it's not require a closing tag. For example, BR tag, break the line, so it's not require a closing tag. Then we go through like HTML body, so it's required that a closing tag. Next, we have a concept of a nested. Nested, it means inside the tag, you can write into the another tag for the different effect. Like here, you can see as per the presentations, I have write down H1 tag. So it's a heading, large, and also you can see a capital I. So that is the meaning of a italic font. It means if you apply the italic font, as well as you have to increase the font size. So you have to apply a H1 tag. Next, we have a structure of web page. It means what are the basic and necessary control that we have to require for the making of the simple web page for the PHP language. So now in this HTML, head starting, head closing, then after the body and body tag closing, at the last we have to close a HTML. So these are the essential tag where you have to making a simple web page. Next, title tag that we already see in orientations. The meaning of title tag, we can easily identify that a specific web page, as well as what is the meaning of that web page. Like for example, a registration page, a login page, home page, contact us page. So as per the title, we easily identify that page meaning. Next, we have a heading tag where we size like a H1 to H7. So between 1 to 7, we have to apply a different number, and that we represent into the different font size. Like H1, it's a bigger font. Then after H2, it's a smaller. Then H3, again smaller. H4, again smaller. To up to H7, it's a too small. And also we go through align tag. Align it, okay, for example, maybe you can see some news headlines or in some website, okay, where title that of headline, which they have to represent as a center. Also, for example, if you write any letter, so where we have to date represent as a right hand side, so that we set as a line, like a center, right hand side, as well as the left hand side also. So that is the meaning that we called a align text. So let's just we go through that a quickly demo, and then we start a new take. That is a simple program I have to make. Now we open it. So now you can see the output. I have added a four heading tag H1, H2, H3, and H4. And you can clearly see the difference between all four heading. The H1 it's bigger than H2 compared to H2 it's compared to H1 smaller. Again H3 smaller. Again H4 it's smaller. Now for example, as I said, if you apply a line as per the text, okay, for example, if you represent as a center, or if you may be represent as a right hand side, so that also you can add it. There is a one questions, why third and fourth are getting smaller. There is a in heading, if you increase the number, so it's represent as a decreasing the size. So that is the default tag in a HTML. H1 is a larger, H2 small, H3 again small, H4 again small, H5 again small. It means if you represent the different size, so as per that you can use a different tag H1, H2, H6 up to the H1 to up to H6. So let's you can see I have write down align is equal to center. Now I have saved the file, and again I have to refresh it. Now you can see the clearly the H1 tag it's represent into the center. It means I have set align. It's a center. That's why it's a represent into the center. Now for example, here H2 where you have to represent into the right hand side. I have write down a right, refresh. Now you can see clearly it's a represent into the right hand side. And default, if you write down left, so by default it's starting from the left hand side browser, so it's a represent. That means if you write down align is equal to left, so it cannot be requirement, or it cannot be changed any effect, because the default they have represent as a left hand side. Now there is a questions, sir, center tag is applicable here? Yes, you can applicable in all heading tag. Whatever information you have to represent into the center, you can use a center tag as per your requirement. Now, for example, the heading, whatever news that you have to write down as a center, then a specific date if you write down as a right hand side, and then you start your content. So as per your web page design, you can write down your aligner, either center, either right hand side, and default it can be a left hand side. So that is the small demo regarding the all heading tag. And as well as the aligner, you can use a center or either a right hand side, or default is a left hand side. And one more things I have repeated, HTML, in this you can write a lower letter as well as the a capital letter. Both it can be supported. It cannot generate any error. You can see the clearly I have write down a center in a capital letter, and also you can see the right I have write down in a small letter. Same also you can see H1 is capital, H2 in small. So as per your requirement, you can write lower letter as well as the upper letter. It cannot generate any error. It's supported both. So let's we move to our new take. Now one more, maybe you can see any web page source. So you can see a small this type of the tag. So that is the meaning where it's a represent as a comment tag. It means if you represent a specific tag regarding that informations, so you can write down that a comment tag regarding the that tag information. But generally it not used in HTML tag. It's used in when you develop some specific website is a group of the developer, where you can small task have to specific assign making a program code, and then finally you have to merge that program and that represent the website. So at that time, for the understanding purpose, you have to write down that comment tag or specific author or useful informations, or we can say that also features. So that can easily understand by the some other person. But in our programming, it's not a requirement for HTML. Now next, an important that is a text formatting. Now, for example, you can see in a website, few font it can be represented as a bold, few font is represented as a italic or maybe underline. So also you can do this type of effect using of the HTML tag. So let's we go through the first text formatting tag, that is a B. So now the B it represent as a bold. That means whatever font you have to write down, so that represent into the bold format. Next we have a I, so that is represent as a italic. It means whatever between the I tag you write down, so that all font represent into the italic. It means it's a slightly downside. It can be a represent. So that is the meaning of a italic. Next, we have a capital U for the underline. If you write down a specific underline, so that's why you can write a U. Now there is a one questions, sir. For the next line, we can use a slash and I think that is student. Okay, slash and that we use into the printf. It means in a C language. And right now we learn a basic HTML tag. So now in HTML tag, if you want to uh, represent the information into the next line, so you have to use a BR tag. The meaning of BR tag, so that we called a break the line. Now the slash and that is represent into the C language where you learn into the your second semester. I hope you get the answer. So now, for example, if you represent a paragraph, it means if you represent the information into the next line, so it's a represent as a paragraph. So that's why you write down a P. So that is the meaning of the paragraph, where whatever content you have to write that represent into the next line. So that is the meaning of the paragraph. And next command tag that we called a BR. BR, it means break the line. For example, if you just represent into the some specific point, so and if you have just break the line, so that's why you use the command that we called a BR, break the line. There is a one questions, what Haskell language that we learn, it's called HTML language, and it is a basic programming script which can be helpful for the making a website is a simple interactive. So let's we go through that demo how we use that text formatting. So now the take that is a capital B, and that is a represent as a bold. Now I have saved the file and refresh it. So you can see the first line, it's a represent as a actual and normal font, but you can see the last line whatever write down in between the bracket, so that is a represent into the bold. That means we use a B tag, so that is the represent as a bold tag. So now you can clearly see the difference, the regular font as well as if I apply the B tag, so that is the meaning of the bold. Next we have that is italic I. Now again I refresh. So now you can see the font output, it's a represent into the italic. It means it's slightly down. So that is the meaning of a I tag, where whatever font between the I, if you write down, so that represent as a italic. Now next where we have a U tag. U means underline. Now again I have refreshed, you can see the output. This is my my first program, and where you can easily see the underline, it can be a generated. So that is the meaning of U, where it's a represent as a underline. Now next command that we have a P, paragraph. Now I can save the file again refresh. So now you can see it's a represent into the next line. So as I said, paragraph means it means you have to complete your previous line. It's a represent into the your new line. So that is the meaning of the paragraph tag. Again I repeat, paragraph means it's a represent into the new line. So that is the meaning of the paragraph, where a previous line it can be a completed. There is a one question, sir. What to do if we want to both italic and underline font? Let's just we go through both a demo. Yes, you can clearly see I have used italic as well as the U tag. So it means you can see it's a underline as well as the I tag. Also you can see it's a represent as italic and U for the underline. That is the concept of a nested tag. You can apply a nested tag any as per the your requirement. Again, for example, if I represent as a bold for all three combinations, also you can do it. Again, I refresh. Now you can clearly see it's a last line. It's a represent as a bold. So you can use any tag as a inside the tag. In HTML, a nested tag, it can be a supported. Now, any query? Okay, now the last command that we have that we called a break the line. Now you can see it's not look like a good program. Now you can see a regular output, and I have a bold, then I have italic, and then I have underline. Now, for example, that is my whatever a font I have represent as a bold, that I have represent into the new line. So before the starting of the bold tag, I have to write down the BR tag. So now you can see I have write down a BR tag, and let's we verify the output. Now you can see it's a break the line, and whatever starting from the bold letter it represent into the new line. So now that is the meaning of the break the line and tag that we called a BR. Now tell me whatever italic font that I have to represent into the new line. Now tell me which command I have to use. Again, I repeat the questions. My italic font that I have to represent into the new line. Then tell me which tag I have to use. Yes, I received the response a BR tag, a good student. Ayush, Nikunj, Shalwant, Parth, Ray, good. So let's we try BR tag as per your message. And now I have to refresh. Yes, you can see the output italic font which represent into the new line. So that is the meaning of break the line. In for example, underline you have to represent, so that also it can be a break. So that is a simple BR tag. Now previously one student asked the questions, what is the difference between the BR tag and P tag? The BR tag that is a break the line, and meaning of the paragraph, it means if you write the paragraph, it by default take a new line, and whatever message it can be a represent. Almost both are the similar, but in between the message, if you have to break, you can use a P for the paragraph, where you can see the output. It's a certain space it represent both, and the BR it's a directly start from the new line, but it's not represent any space. And for example, I write down H1, here I write down H2, H3, and now I have to take output. Now you can see the clearly difference. H1 that is represent bold, then italic, then underline, then a paragraph. So that is a text formatting tag, bold, italic, underline, BR and paragraph. So any query from that 5 tag? Okay, so let's move to another take. Next, we have a font take where we have to change a specific. Yes, I wait for the someone ask the questions regarding without closing H1 tag, it show a correct result. Yes, it show the correct result. That's why I have to show that a demo. Only just one student, it's a go for the analysis, and I just appreciate that student. I think Ayush maybe. Yes, Ayush. So that is a good questions. So now you can see I have write down H1 tag, but I am not a close H1 tag. So now it's automatically assume if you start another heading tag, so it means okay, your H1 tag is already closed. So it's not essential requirement. You have to close your heading tag until you not close your all font. It's represent into the same size. Now you can see the clearly difference here. Underline as well as the paragraph, both font are the similar. Why similar? Because I have start H3 tag, but I am not ending any H3 tag. It means after the H3, whatever information I have write down, that all information it convert into the H3 tag. That's why you can see the last two line, both size are the similar. So now a heading tag, it's not essential to require a closing tag. If you start the another tag, it by default close that tag needs represent into the as per the that heading size. Needs to give a correct result. Now the next we have to take that is a font tag. The font tag that we use, like we are aware about a different font style. For example, Times New Roman, Calibri, Arial, or any other if you require that font style. So that also you can use into the font tag. So now in font tag we have write down font. Then after font face. In a font face we have to write down that a specific style. Okay, which style you have to apply for that font. And again, they have one more attribute that we called a size. So now in a size, we have to write down a number 1 to 7 any, and that is represent into the increasing order. It means a 1, so it's a represent small size, then 2, it's again large, 3 again large, and up to 7, it's a large, maximum large. So now a font tag which have a true attribute. One, it call a face, and second, it call a size. Now again, font tag have one more attribute that we called a color. Also, you can set your color as per your requirement for your special font. Where you can see in a website, a few font can be represented into the blue, green, red color. Also, you can color your font as per your requirement. Now again in a color, we have a two method. So one method which you can directly write down that a color name, red, green, blue, whatever you have to set it. And next you can see the difference. I have write down the example hex, then after the fold time F. So that we called hexadecimal representations. So now in hexadecimal representations, we have to represent RGB color. RGB color, it means red, green and blue combinations, where each two letter it's a represent that a combination. The red combination, green combinations, as well as the blue combination. And that input you can write a 0 to 9 any number, as well as A to F any letter, because it's represented with the hexadecimal representations. That's why. So let's we just go through that demo. I write down a font size 4, a face that is a style, then color, and then whatever your informations, and again that a closing tag. Now I have to refresh. Now you can see the clearly difference. So whatever I write down in between the font tag, this is my first program, and that color you can see a green, as well as that a font size, or we can say font face also we have to change it as per the our requirement. There is a one question, sir. Can you repeat the previous ones? I was disconnected. Okay, again I repeat that a font tag. Don't worry, those are the maybe left the network due to. So we have one tag that is called a font tag. So using a font tag, we have to apply a different that style, size, as well as the color. That means it's have a three different attribute. The size, for example, if I write down a 1, so it's a represent as a too small. You can see it's a too small font. And if you represent a 7, that is the larger size. As per the requirement, you can set a size 1 to 7 in between. Then now font face. What is the meaning of font face? So that represent as a font style. So now we are aware about a different font style. For example, Times New Roman. That also you can set it. Then Verdana, like a default Arial, Calibri. So as per the requirement, you can set any font style that your requirement. So that is the meaning of a font face, or we can say font style, whatever you have to set it. And next that we have a color. So that we have a color green. That means the font color that is represented as a green color. And again it's required that a closing tag. So that is a font tag. Okay, there is a one questions, sir, what happen if we write a wrong name of the color? So it's not affected that color. It's like we go through go. Okay, maybe it's a default color they have set as per the requirement, otherwise it cannot be a change, or it can be changed as per the default color what they have to automatically get. But if you know, so you have to write down exact color. Let's we go through that hexadecimal informations. Like if I write down 4 times 6 times 1, you can see that is a black color, fff, sorry, a 111. Now for example, if I write down ff, again that is a light blue color. That is the meaning of RGB color. Also you can use it as per the your requirement. Now again 6 times 0, it's again represent as a black color. So I would suggest you just go through directly color name instead of the hexadecimal combinations. We go through another example. Now we have one more attribute in a body tag. Now in body tag, you can write a BG color. So now meaning of BG color, it means you can set your a background color. For example, if you set a background color different, black, green, or whatever, so you can also set it. So we try for that background color. Again, I repeat, BG, that is meaning of background and background color. So that I have set as a green. Now you can see the output, sorry, a background color. It's represent as a green color. So as per the requirement, you can set your background color also. Now, for example, if you set as a blue, it's a blue. As per the requirement, you can set also your background color. So we go through simulations parallelly that a demo. So now you have to just open a website. First of all, you just go through a Google homepage. Now in a Google search, you have to just search a W3 school space HTML. Again, I repeat, in a mobile also you can do it. It's not an essential requirement. If you have a laptop, and then you can do your HTML tag practices. If you have a smartphone, Android phone, also you can do it. You have to just open a Google in your browser mobile. Then you have to search a W3 school HTML, and you have to just go through a first result, w3school.com HTML, where you have to just click on the fourth HTML basic. Just you have to click on HTML basic, and if you just scroll down, you have to get a button, try it yourself. You have to just click on try it yourself. So here you can see left hand side, that is your notepad, whatever your requirement that you write down your all take, and then after you have to click on the run. So it's a represent the output on your right hand side. So we just go through one demo. Now we can see I have write down H1, H2 and paragraph. Now I just click on the run. So you can see the output, it's visible, H1 tag, H2, as well as the paragraph. So that is the we called a simulator. You can use in your mobile also, and if you have a laptop, so in your laptop also you can do it a practice. So now I request to all students, just go through your mobile, open a Google, just search W3 school, and where you just go through your whatever today we list of all text formatting we learn. That also you can check your demo like B, after like U, then after I. Now you can see bold it's represent, underline it's represent, as well as the italic it's also represent. Now there is a questions, sir, when we where use a notepad and where we can get output. So now when you go through the notepad, so you have to aware about, you have to save a file with extension, that is a .html, and then if you click on that file, so it's a by default open in your whatever default browser. Now you can see in my screen, I have to make a file name that is a basic tag.html, and that is the, you can say, by default extension I have set HTML, so it can be directly open into your my web browser Chrome. So whatever default browser you have to set, in this it can be automatically open. So that is the a simulator where you can easily do a practice. So I request to all students just go through that practice. So while parallelly I have just take the attendance, and again we continue our remaining work. There is a questions, what sir? I request to all students just go through Google, open a W3 school, and click on the try it yourself, where you can do a practice whatever we learn today. Take a bold, take italic, underline, paragraph, break the line, that you have to do a 5 to 10 minute practice. So while parallelly I take the attendance. Yes, at now, right now. Now there is a one student, Hermes Soni. What is your roll number? And Jalwant Mehta and Mahi. Just type your roll number and which batch you are from. Okay, Hermes Soni say 110. Hermes Soni, you are from a C batch and you joined the wrong batch, a B batch lab. Hermes Soni, you have to just verify your lab batch with your class counselor because you are in a C batch. And again, Jalwant Mehta, you are in a B batch and right now you join a batch lab. So again, I request you have to just lab the lab and join your respective subject lab. As per the updated class list, Hermes Sony is in a C batch and Jalwant you are in a B batch. Just again verify with your class counselor. Yes, division 1 EC2 class. Okay, I've just shared the screen. Just EC2 class A batch, all student are present. So just verify your name and check your whether I write down a present or not. Yes, Jalmat, it's showing in last WhatsApp file. I know maybe a class list it's updated, so you can verify with your class counselor once again, because I will download a latest class timetable within half an hour. That's why. As well as the Hermit Sony also, sir. But I have got the link to join this class. Mm, okay, no problem. Those are the Hermit. So let's again we continue our remaining take, and those are the ABET student that all are the presents. So now the next we have a take that we called a link. It means if you link a specific page where you have to move into the one page to another page, so you have to use a tag that we called a that we called a anchor tag, and that we write down a href. It means hypertext referencer, okay, where a specific whatever web page that we have to open it, so that we have to write down. Jalwant, sir, should I leave class? Yes, Jalwant, you can leave the class and join your respective B batch lab sessions. Mm. Hermes, you get a C batch link for the timetable, then you can leave it and you can join your respective lab sessions. Just verify. Yes, you join a Ronak sir C batch lab session EC2 class, Hermes Sony. So let's we continue our take that we called A for the anchor take, where we have to represent a link of the another web page. Now, for example, in a home page too, you have to redirect a specific product page or another website page. So you have to write down a take that A, then after href, and then a specific web page address. Now also, for example, if you like create a link for Harvard University website, or we can say a GTU website. So that website path you have to write down here. So it's a redirect of one web page to another web page. But it's a work when you go for some live website. So we go through that a demo how the link gets a work. I have write down ahref is equal to a specific page like home.html page that I have to open it. And now I just refresh. You can see it's a home page button. It can be a represent, and here you can see it's a link. And now if I click on that, so you can see it's a redirect to my home.html page. Because I have write down the path that we called a home.html. That can be directly read out that your whatever your web page. So you can put any hyperlink as a here, whatever path that you have to open it, and make sure. Okay, there is one questions, sir. What does ahref represent? Yes, a good questions. So now a that is represent as a anchor tag, and href that is a full form. H for the hypertext, and ref that is for the reference. It means hypertext reference for it means which page you have to open. So that reference you have to write down here. So now the my reference that is a home.html. So that is the meaning of a ref. H for hypertext, and ref that is the short form for the reference. We have to write down that reference, okay, which specific web page I have to open it. Now an important thing that we called a image. It means we mostly see each and every web page where it's a contain a different image. So now the how we upload a image into the that web page. So we have a tag that we called image src. So now img for the image, and src that is for the source path, where we have to apply that file path, and then after that a specific file name. Now here one more constraint that we okay, whatever image it's located into your same file. It means maybe your image file it's represent into the another folder. You have to write down your entire C drive, whatever specific drive folder that a path. But your image as well as your HTML file, it should be in a same folder. You can directly write down that image name, as well as it's a required that extension, either JPG, PNG, or whatever image extension that you have to support it as per the system. So let's just we go through that a demo. Image src is equal to file name. Now first of all I have required a file that we have to verify. Now you can see that is my file basic tag, and these are the images I have already downloaded. So now you can see the extension that is a PNG, JPG file also. Now for example that file I have added into the my web page. File name that is a GTU logo 1, and extension that is a PNG. I have write down GTU logo 1 dot PNG. Now I have to save. Now I have to refresh. So now you can clearly see image. It can be added into the my HTML page. So that is the way where you can add easily any images into the your web page. Now again, image where we have a two attribute, one we called a width and height. Now maybe you can see a logo the where have a small size, maybe a few background picture which have a larger size. So as per the image, also you can set your file size small to larger as per the your requirement. So that also a thing we see into our next lab sessions. So right now, till that, any query that we perform today's. Okay, then the next lab sessions, Monday, we continue with image stack as well as that different property. So now, thank you, student. You can lab the meeting, and I already take attendance, and all A batch student are present.